Hello, everyone. My name is The Rumpskin, and today I decided to do a video about my top 5 favorite shonen. Now, I was originally going to just do like a top 3 or just like manga and anime in general, but I decided to just do shonen because I just don't feel like it's important enough to do that yet. I mean, I'm not anyone anyway, so my favorite thing doesn't matter. I just decided to just put it out there, people to know, get like a little taste of like me. And by the way, just to preface, I have not watched a lot of shonen, like, at all. I wouldn't say vanilla. I'm just not exposed. I haven't been exposed to a lot of shows, I just haven't been exposed to a lot of shows. So, if your favorite shonen isn't on here, then I'm sorry. It's probably because I haven't watched it. And with that being said, I'm just gonna hop right into it. And by the way, this is in no particular order. So, the first shonen I have on here is Naruto. And I know Naruto's very popular. And the reason I picked Naruto is because it was my first like real exposure to like anime. Like, yeah, I watched like Pokemon and like Dragon Ball and stuff and Yu-Gi-Oh, but I didn't know what I was watching at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Naruto was the first thing I watched that I was like, okay, this isn't like a regular cartoon. Like, this is different. This literally hits different than a normal cartoon. And first of all, like, part 1 of Naruto is just straight fire, like the whole way through. It's just pure, unadulterated fire. I love the characters. The fights are like top tier in shonen, and it's a good. How do I put this? It's a very good first dip, like dipping your toe into anime and manga. Like, anyone can watch Naruto. Like, if I were to suggest someone like who hasn't watched anime before to like watch any anime, it'd probably be Naruto, because it's just so digestible at first. Anyway, people say that the second half, like Shippuden, is trash, and why I don't like it as much as part 1. It isn't that bad. Like, yeah, like the very end you could argue is dog shit, but everything up until like, I would say like the second half of the war arc, when Obito gets like the 10 tails, I guess. Like, everything up to that is still like really good. Like, the characters. See, I'm a kind of person that I like compelling characters, right? And Naruto has some of the most compelling characters in all of shonen, right? For starters, I'll talk about Pain. Pain is just like beautiful, right? Kakashi is flames. Naruto himself, like, he's not generic. There's always that trope of shonen where it's just like, oh, I want to become the King Hokage of the pirates. It's just like, yeah, it's that. It probably started that trope. I don't really know. It might have like popularized it, but it doesn't mean Naruto in himself is just like generic. Like, he's a good main character. Sasuke, he changes throughout the story. His motivation makes sense. Itachi, flames. Tsunade, she's alright. Probably like the best female in the series, which isn't saying much because Kishimoto sucks at writing females. But yeah, just it's common shonen, it's basic shonen, but it's so just like digestible to anyone. With that being said, moving on. So the next shonen I have on here is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I watched when I was, I want to say like 15, and I had no idea what it was. It was introduced to me by my friend at the time, and I watched the whole thing. And I gotta say, it's probably top tier shonen, I would say. And again, it comes back to like the characters are great. Edward and Alphonse are amazing. The supporting cast is great. The villains are really good. Father's whatever, like he's whatever. But Greed, Flames. My favorite though is Wrath. Wrath is probably like the coolest character in the whole show. He's my favorite homunculus anyway. I know that a lot of people like love Greedling, like Greed combined with Ling, but I just think Wrath is just dope, right? The story is really it when I say story, I mean like the themes, right? Like the themes of the show are very like, even for like someone who's like young, like when I watched it, it's very like you can understand it, right? It's very like rooted in like religion, and it's like that religion versus like science type thing. There's a lot of that going on, very religious undertones. But you don't have to be religious or like hate religion, whatever. Just be like, or like even like understand religion to get like the message, right? It's not anti-theistic, but it's not even that at all. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just not that, right? It just uses religion as like a standing point, right? They just start and like get its message across, which it does very well. Oh, by the way, the OST, fire, top tier, right? Intro, every intro, like Golden Time Lover, my favorite. It's amazing. Again, Flames. It's just top tier. I don't know what to say about it. The endings, whatever, it just kind of ends abruptly, which I hate. Most shouldn't do that. I don't understand why, but most shouldn't just like end, and then when it ends, you're like, oh, well, the ending wasn't really satisfying, but like it's still like I'm not gonna hate the whole story just because it ended like not great. It's like, oh, I don't need alchemy when I have my friends and family. It's like, okay, whatever, buddy. Whatever, Ed. But yeah, just really good, digestible, great characters, just very enjoyable for anybody. And with that being said, moving on. So the next shonen I have here, Death Note. Now, Death Note, I watched very early. I was like 13, right? Death Note isn't your typical shonen. It's the cat and mouse mind games thing, right? And I was always just used to watching like, oh, characters go sploding, like characters go boom, big blast go boom, punch face go fly, you know, very chatty stuff. But Death Note was just very, I'm not gonna say realistic, because you know, books that like kill people are realistic, but it's very grounded in reality. The characters are fire. Light's whole the thing with Light is it's just such a great subversion of like the hero trope, whereas like he's not even like the hero. Like in his mind he's a hero, but it just subverts that trope of like just like the standard like the morally like how should I put this, like the morally superior protagonist. Like he's so just compelling. He's so charismatic. Like even though you don't necessarily like agree with him, like what he's doing, you can understand why he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? People say that the second half after L dies is terrible. I don't agree with that. I think it's not just as good, like maybe like slightly like less good. Like it drags on quite a bit, right? But it's still enjoyable, right? Like I just love seeing the characters interact. You know what I'm saying? And the payoff at the end is worth everything. And then it goes back into the themes of the series, to where it's so morally gray that you just have to feel how you feel about the characters and their motivations, and then just like go off of that. It's how you feel, right? There is no one's morals are 100% absolute. You know what I'm saying? It does a very good job of just like leaving you at that conclusion, which is probably how it is anyway. You know, no one can just say like, oh, this is absolutely right. You know, like no one can really say that. There's no objectively correct thing in any world, right? Like if that was the case, there would be no murder, there'd be no stealing, there'd be no rape, there'd be no demonetized. What? There'd be no wrong or like evil in the world, but there is, okay? And it does a very good job of illustrating that. And with that being said, moving on. So this is kind of funny. These next two, like I have notes, and these next two I just put goated because there's nothing really you can say other than that. So the next one I have is Hunter x Hunter. Now, Hunter x Hunter is just amazing, right? Like it's just god tier in terms of like so many things. Gon is the most compelling main character, but he gets the job done. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many other characters you can look to and just be like, oh, this kind of like, even though Gon isn't like the best, like Killua, Hisoka, Crollo, Meruem, just like fantastic characters, right? In their own right. And it's so unique in the fact that it does a good job of just like, how do I put this? It takes a lot from everything, but it's still its own thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just unique in that way. Nen is the most unique power system in like all of manga. I don't think you can debate that. You can literally do anything with Nen. That's what's so beautiful about it. Do literally anything. It's just goated, bro. I don't know what else you can say about it. It's not finished, obviously, but I don't think that matters. I just think like everyone can agree that Hunter x Hunter is like top tier shonen. And with that being said, moving on. So the next one I have on the list is, I think, the granddaddy of them all, right? One Piece. And like I said before, like I have notes, and all I put was just goated. One Piece is just goated, right? One Piece is see, this is the thing though, right? With One Piece, I started watching One Piece, and it was in the Dressrosa arc, right? When I was trying to get into it, and it took me like 2 years to like catch up. So I had to just like stop, you know what I'm saying? At some points, because it just like I'm not saying drags on, but there's so much stuff, especially in the anime. There's so much like just like filler that you don't really need to watch, or like literal filler, and then like things that happen that like aren't like super important, but like just like add to the story, right? Luffy, I think, is a very underrated protagonist and like misunderstood, right? People just look at him, oh, he's just like the dumb guy who likes to eat. But I think it's more of just like Luffy, he's his own, he only wants what he wants, and he doesn't care about anybody else besides his friends, right? Like he loves his crew, and he wants to achieve his goals, right? And he doesn't let anything like get in the way of that. Like if you're in the way of his goals, like he's gonna like Red Hawk you in the face, right? and it's just compelling in that way of just like I want to achieve this like really like almost unobtainable goal, but I'm still gonna do it because I want to do it. And it's like the adventure of the whole series just like is just god tier. Characters, One Piece has some of the best characters in all of anime and manga. Just all of them. Not all of them, you know what I'm saying. Just so many favorites you could choose from. Villains and quote unquote heroes alike. Yeah, it's just top tier. The fights, flames, villains. Besides like the really bad ones. That's the thing with One Piece. When One Piece is bad, it's like bad and boring. When One Piece is like great, it's like amazing, right? It's like top tier. Like it has its lows, but like its lows are like low, but its highs are really high. If you get what I'm saying. And where we're at now, like you don't get to 1,000+ chapters without doing something right. You know what I'm saying? And when it ends, I feel like there's still gonna be things that we don't understand. Like not every question is gonna be answered, but I feel like when it ends, we will all be satisfied, no matter what happens. They call the man Goda for a reason. Like he's the GOAT, right? It's just you just have to appreciate it for just how long it's been going. And it is my favorite. Like it's my favorite. Personally, like I said, I haven't watched everything, but in terms of like shonen, it's my favorite. Like the world that Oda has crafted is just so deep and so expansive that you just have to love it. Like it's amazing. It's just, I'm not gonna say perfect because nothing in this world's perfect, but it's just really like if there was perfect, let's say like S, right? Like S tier. Like Hunter x Hunter and One Piece are S tier. Like they're not perfect, but they're as close to perfect as you can get. You know what I'm saying? Despite their flaws, right? Like their flaws are so few and their greats are so great that you just have to love it. And with that being said, yeah, this has been my top 5 favorite shonen. Like I said, I haven't watched or read a lot of things. If you think my tastes are vanilla, that's fine, because they are. But if you guys have suggestions or things that you want me to like actually like read or watch, like I will definitely do that. Like my brother right now is telling me to watch Dororo, whatever it's called. I think that's what it's called. I want to read Rurouni Kenshin because I have a thing for like samurai and a boner for swords. You know what I'm saying? I want to read Vinland Saga, things like that. I'm more of a seinen guy anyway, but whatever. Yeah, if you guys have suggestions that I should read or watch, let me know. If you guys like this video and you agree with what I said, like the video, or don't, doesn't matter. Yeah, this has been the Rumpskin. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and goodbye.